Ashley, I think I need you to highlight me and all of that good stuff. I don't know where any of that is. Oh, okay, we're in. How y'all doing, good people? Appreciate y'all joining us today. We are talking about the visa process today. Thank you for joining. Hey, let me know in the comments if this is your first time joining us. Give me a one in the comments. I am traveling, so things are going to be a bit awkward because my internet's not working. I'm trying to figure this out. Trying to make it happen right on the fly to make sure that we can engage. I am in Michigan. I'm in my childhood home here in outside of Detroit, Michigan, visiting my dad. Many of you know that he's 95 years young, and I'm calling 95. Right, that's the thing around here. We name him by his age. First time listener. Hey, how you doing? All right, hey bro. Okay. Hey Michael. All right, Frida. I got my glasses on and can't see. You know it's time for another prescription. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Okay, we got a lot of newbies in the house. Okay, thank you. Man. I'm sorry that y'all gotta witness it like this. I got the internet up over here and all of this. It's just not working for me. I swear Michigan is like the internet black hole for us. But I appreciate y'all being here. We are dedicated to continuing this information around travel talks, really any of the information that we supply here at Urban Intellectuals. Even when I'm on the road, right? But sometimes we have some of these tech issues. And if you've been around, many of you know that I'm not the most tech savvy guy anyway. Technology just don't like me for some reason. But let me know where you are watching from in the comments. So you can go ahead and drop your location. Again, I'm in the south suburbs of Chicago. No, that's like a default response. Typically in the south suburbs of Chicago. So I'm in the burbs of Detroit, Michigan today. But I am headed somewhere special. I'm gonna get into that in just a moment. Because it's all kind of awkward today, I'm definitely gonna try to make sure that I'm keeping the conversation moving so we're not here all night, right? And I got some more travel ahead, so that's good. Oh, thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. Good brother, Baltimore. I see Lakewood, Chicago. Got my first time listener, San Antonio. Currently in Jacksonville, we're normally in Jersey. Hey, Gene, how you doing? All right, S. Johnson is down there in Florida. I just left Florida, right? Last week I was at Disney for their Disney Leadership Institute training, which was a really great training down there. Disney is a special organization, right? But we're always trying to learn and get better. So that was something that we were doing last week. That was excellent. I enjoy traveling. Y'all might hear me a little bit tired and all of that good stuff, but definitely dedicated here to sharing the information with the people. So we got a lot of first time listeners. Anyone, how did you get here? Let me know in the comments. Did you purchase a product from Urban Intellectuals? What product was it, maybe? Did somebody recommend that you got it? Do you just follow us on socials? I'm just always curious as to how we get in front of our community and our people. But I definitely appreciate y'all being here. I am going to try to share my screen here in a moment. I just wanted to see um, Evergreen State College email. Oh, that's interesting. Social media. Hey, Gene. All right. Thank you, Ethel. Appreciate that. Ashley, can you write that down? Evergreen State College email. Let's see if we can figure out who is sharing us, right? And can we get some more interactions with them? As Johnson says, social and email somehow. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, I think y'all landed in the right place. I'm a little bit biased on that. You hear me talking to my colleague Ashley. She is our travel coordinator here at Urban Intellectuals. And I'll make sure I give a quick overview of the company since I know we got a lot of new people here. So this is great. Friend gave me the link since she will be traveling overseas. Oh, I love that. All right, we are being shared, right? Sankofa Children's Museum. Oh man, is that here in Chicago or there in Chicago? Rita, I forgot exactly where you were from. That's interesting. All right, Ashley, remind me to ask this question more often because this is really insightful. This is good stuff. Thank y'all for sharing and participating. Hey, Baltimore. Oh, Baltimore. Okay. Ashley, can you write that down too? Sankofa Children's Museum. Let's see if we can reach out and work more with them. That is great. All right. Thank you for that information, good people. I am going to try to share my slides. And when I tell y'all all this is new, I've never done this from the phone. So we're about to see how this goes together. I'm sure we're gonna figure it out, right? Broadcast, y'all probably gonna see a lot of my stuff real quick. All right. Bam, give me a let me try to get out of the way. How do I get Oh Lord. Okay. Here we go. There we go. Okay. All right. I'm out of the way. Give me a one in the comments if you can see my screen. I don't know how to go back. Oh, okay. There we go. All right. All right. I'm gonna try to work the comments. I don't know if I can. But okay, let's go. Let me dive into the conversation. I'm sorry if I missed y'all in the comments. I literally can't see them on my screen right now because I'm on this phone, and I'm praying that the computer comes up, but it's not. So, all right, off we go. So, do you need a visa, right? So, we're exploring visa requirements for our next adventure. This is Travel Talks, right? So this is what we're here. Sankofa Experiences presents Travel Talks. This is our weekly talk show about travel, our travel experiences powered by urban intellectuals. Of course, I'll explain all of that in just a moment, but let me hit you with our opening video and we can dive into this conversation. Maybe hit you with this open video. There we go. Welcome to Travel Talks, where we embark on a journey of discovery with Sankofa Experiences, powered by Urban Intellectuals. I'm your host, Freddie Taylor, the CEO and founder of Urban Intellectuals, here to guide you through our African diaspora's rich history and culture. Sankofa Experiences is more than just travel, it's a movement. We dive deep into our roots across Africa and the diaspora, turning every journey into a powerful connection with our ancestors. Our mission? To make the exploration of Black history accessible, inspiring, and informative. Join us as we share insights from our travels, celebrate our history, and foster a deeper understanding of our collective identity. With Sankofa Experiences, every destination is a step closer to home. Let's explore together. Welcome to Travel Talks. Hey, all right. Welcome to Travel Talks, everyone. I appreciate again y'all being here and spending some time with me on this day and struggling through this presentation. Lord, that is not what I'm looking for right there. This is going to be interesting, y'all. So I appreciate some grace with me today. There we go. All right. We're gonna power through this. So, as I always say, a lot going on around here at Urban Intellectuals. Just for a overview, Urban Intellectuals is the parent company that owns our Sankofa Experiences, right? So it's through Sankofa Experiences that we empower our community to reconnect with our history and our culture. But we have a variety, we have 19 physical products that we sell centered around Black history and culture. That main aim is to empower the community. Our number one seller is our Black History flashcards. You may have seen those before. We teach live Black history inside of our membership programs. So we have our Sankofa Circle, where we teach live Black history to adults. We have the Sankofa Club, where we teach live Black history to children. And then we take people on Sankofa travel experiences. And this is what we're talking about inside of Travel Talks, where we take people to Africa and the African diaspora and belong to empower them through connection and seeing the history and culture up close and personal. So there's always a lot going on here at the company, right? And we're managing our emails and all that good stuff so that you can be better informed without so many emails. So you'll see what I'm talking about as we continue to improve. But what's going on around the company is I want to invite you out to Monday. This is actually, it says Tuesday, March 11th, but actually I'm traveling on Tuesday, March the 11th. It's going to be Monday, March the 10th. Ashley, my bad. I didn't tell you to update that. And I didn't even explain who Ashley is. Lord, I am on it today. Okay. But let me just say this. March the 10th is Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to talk about unlocking your family's ultimate legacy, wealth, heritage, and unity is what we are talking about. So I want to invite you out to another Zoom conversation, Ashley should be dropping the link in the comments. You can just click that and go ahead and register if any of that resonates with you, if you're thinking about legacy building in your family. And before I go too far, Ashley is our travel coordinator. She runs the Sankofa experiences, that segment of our business. So anytime that you're interacting with the team or the company, it's more than likely you're going to be interacting with her, and it would be her that is responding and following up with you, because she really handles that part and she does a really good job, right? And please let her know if you interact with her and she satisfies you, right? So I definitely appreciate the shout out to her and all the work that she does. I want to invite you this Sunday, every Sunday, to Sunday dinner, right? So this is where we convene over Zoom. We take advantage of the internet a lot here at the company, but we convene over Zoom behind the idea of going to grandma's house for Sunday dinner. You remember how we used to go to grandma's house every Sunday? The family used to convene, but instead of having soul food for the stomach, we have soulful conversation for the community. So that's what we're doing inside of Sunday dinner. We're talking about the issues that we're facing in the community. We're bringing a lot of solutions to the table. We're making you aware of things that are important, um, to ourselves, our family, our community, and the diaspora. We're making challenges so that we focus on the solutions and not just the problems. And it's a platform for you to be heard. So it's more like AM Talk Radio, where it's a community conversation where everyone is invited in. Instead of calling in the local radio station's number, you just raise your Zoom hand and we get down and engage. But we do this every Sunday. So you can go ahead and join us, urbanintellectuals.com/Sunday dinner. Sign up and register for that. I want to invite you to follow our YouTube channel, right? So we're building out our Sankofa Speaks, where we're taking advantage of the powerful network of people that we have here inside of the community and doing interview style, and we're sharing history and all that good stuff on our YouTube channel. So I want to encourage you to follow us on YouTube. We're definitely trying to get our numbers up over there. It's just such a great connection point. So please check us out over there, youtube.com/@urbanintellectuals. All right. So let's dive into the conversation. Again, I can't see any of the questions just yet, or the comments if you are, but I hope you are participating and following along. But do you need a visa to travel to Africa? That is a question that we get a lot around here at Urban Intellectual. Hey, give me in the comments. I'll come back. I promise. Give me give me an A in the let me know what country that you've been to. No. Let me back up. Give me a yes or no if you've ever been to Africa in the comments. Let me know yes or no if you've been. And if you are interested, put interested, right? I guess obviously you're interested. You're here having a travel conversation, but just give me a yes or no in the comments if you've ever been to the continent. But the question that we get a lot is, do you need a visa to travel to Africa? And that's what we wanted to dispel, kind of talk about with you today. But guess what, right? Before we dive into that, I got a surprise for you because I'm headed to Ethiopia, right? So we're super excited about this. Our Sankofa Experiences is kicking off Ethiopia as a destination for our community to travel to. This is our first time going to Ethiopia. I leave out on the 11th, March the 11th. Which is why I can't do our travel talk on that day, and we're moving it to the 10th, or excuse me, our legacy building conversation on the 11th. I'm moving it to the 10th. I will be flying, guess what, direct from Dulles Airport straight into Ethiopia. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah, so this is like a long time coming. We've been building up for this particular trip. We're super excited to get down with this. And I'll be there on this particular trip, right? So make sure that you follow along on our socials. Make sure you tap into your emails, because I will be sharing a firsthand view of Ethiopia. If you're interested in that trip, make sure you're paying attention and following along. We'll be there, I think, about 10 days. I got my big old backpack. I have been traveling a lot lately, but I'm really excited about this one. All right. Yes, there we go. Ethiopian flag. But let's talk a little bit about Ethiopia. Just going to share a quick overview with you about the country and the experience. Excuse me. Well, I'm gonna try. There we
Welcome to
go.
the land of ancient history, breathtaking landscapes, and genuine hospitality. Welcome to Ethiopia. Feel the anticipation in the air as you step onto Ethiopian soil, knowing that your Ethiopian odyssey is just beginning. Leave the transportation arrangements to us. We've coordinated a private shuttle to whisk you off to your hotel, ensuring a smooth start to your journey amidst the comfort of your accommodation. After a day of travel, it's time to unwind and immerse yourself in the vibrant pulse of Addis Ababa. Settle into your hotel room and prepare for the adventure ahead. Tonight, join us for an enticing dinner at a local restaurant where you'll savor the flavors of Ethiopian cuisine and receive a briefing on the exhilarating itinerary awaiting you. Awaken to the aroma of freshly brewed Ethiopian coffee and get ready to explore the dynamic streets of Addis Ababa. Our urban exploration begins with a visit to Unity Park, nestled within the Grand Palace, a testament to Ethiopia's rich legacy. From there, we'll proceed to the National Museum, home to the renowned Lucy fossil, offering insights into our ancient heritage. Today, embark on a culinary adventure through Addis Ababa, indulging in traditional Ethiopian delicacies at local dining spots. And for our vegetarian and vegan comrades, fret not. Ethiopian gastronomy boasts an array of plant-based delights to satisfy your palate. Following your feast, partake in some retail therapy at the bustling Mercato Market, where an abundance of treasures awaits. Embark on a cultural voyage to Shashimane, the Rastafarian hub of Africa. Immerse yourself in the Rastafarian lifestyle and explore this vibrant enclave nestled within Ethiopia's heart. Subsequently, journey to Arba Minch, where you'll unwind at a serene resort and embark on a scenic boat excursion on Lake Chamo, including a visit to the Crocodile Market, an authentically Ethiopian experience. Delve into the traditional Dorze way of life as we venture to a local village celebrated for its bamboo dwellings and weaving craftsmanship. Immerse yourself in the vibrant culture and traditions of the Dorze community, gaining insights into their customs and heritage. Fly to Gondar, Africa's Camelot, where history unfolds amidst the fortified Fossil Gebi Royal Enclosure. Explore the grand 17th century palace of Emperor Fasilides and indulge in culinary delights at the renowned Four Sisters restaurant, a fitting culmination to a day of exploration. Embark on a pilgrimage to Lalibela, a town steeped in spirituality and home to the iconic rock-hewn churches. Marvel at the architectural marvels sculpted from solid rock and immerse yourself in the sacred ambiance of this hallowed site. And no visit to Lalibela would be complete without partaking in a traditional Ethiopian coffee ceremony, an age-old ritual celebrating camaraderie, hospitality, and reverence. As your Ethiopian sojourn draws to a close, bid adieu to the rural allure of Arba Minch and return to Addis Ababa for one final evening. Reflect on the memories of your voyage as you savor a farewell dinner surrounded by newfound companions and unforgettable moments. As you prepare to embark on your onward journey, we extend our heartfelt gratitude for selecting Maximum Impact for your Ethiopian expedition. May the beauty and diversity of this extraordinary nation continue to inspire you, and we eagerly anticipate the opportunity to welcome you back for another remarkable escapade. Bon voyage, and until we meet again, welcome to the Maximum Impact community. And welcome to the land of ancient history.
Of course. It's in here somewhere, y'all. All right. Yeah, but it's going to be a great experience. Not going to be a good experience. It's going to be a great experience and a new one for all of our travel partners, all of our travel mates. There we get that. All right. I don't know if that's going forward or backwards, y'all. I am discombobulated. I can't communicate with y'all in the comments like I want to. But all right, that was Ethiopia, overview of Ethiopia, what we'll be experiencing over the next 10 days. Well, once I get there on the 11th, right? So once I start traveling. But let me dive into these basics of the visa processes. We got a little bit to cover here. So what is a visa, the types of visas that we can get, how to check in your visa requirements, and the importance of planning ahead are things that we were going to talk about, right? So, what is a visa, right? A visa is an unofficial document issued by a country that allows you to enter or stay through travel. It travel through its borders in a specific period. Most tourist visas have restrictions on them. It's basically a way for a country. Look, I'm gonna be what you new people are going to learn about me is I'm just going to tell you the truth, right? So really, a visa is just a way for one a country to keep tabs on you, so that they know who's entering their country, and they want to know where you're going and where you're staying, who you know. So all of that will be asked during the visa process, just in case if you've never applied for a visa anywhere. And then two, it's just another way for them to get some money out of you, right? Like it's a money grab. You're coming to the country, so they just make this requirement. They attach a fee to it, right? It's no different than what the United States does. All the countries do this around the world, depending on the relationship with the country, excuse me, that you're traveling from. For instance, as being a citizen of the United States, it affords you visa-free access to a couple of, believe it, like 130 plus countries that you can travel visa-less into, and so there's a benefit to having your particular passport. But some countries they don't have that relationship, and they require a visa in order to get in. So the types of visas, there's three different types: tourist, business, and then transit, right, for brief stopovers and routes to another destination. Business and tourism is obviously obvious, right? It's in the words, right? But we'll be traveling on tourist visas, right? But don't worry about all of the details, because if you decide to travel with us, we will walk you through all of these processes, right? But I just want you to have a basic understanding and overview. How to check for visa requirements. Visit the official government websites or the embassy pages, right? So I love to Google the country that I'm going to and then their embassy, or is a U.S. visa do U.S. citizens need a visa to go to this country, right? And then typically that country's website will come up and it'll tell you all the information that you really need. You just got to make sure that you're on the official websites, because there are a lot of scammers out here, and all of that. But if you travel with us, we'll send you all of the particular links that you need and walk you through the process, so you don't have to worry about that. But more visa basics. Some visas require an application that takes weeks in advance. I hope you heard me there. Weeks in advance. There's even a country, gasp, that requires you to mail off your physical passport in order to get your visa, right? We're going to talk about who that country is that we travel to in a moment. But the preparation is key with all of this. But a lot of the countries, most of the countries, are moving to either visa upon arrival or e-visas, right? So we'll talk about that, where you could just sign up online. But the visa times and fees may vary, not may vary, they do vary. But ensure that your passport has at least 6 months of validity on it. Sometimes you might be disqualified from entering certain countries. It's important not to stress, right? Like it can be a stressful process for people, but this is why we recommend group travel, right? Because you're going with other individuals that have done this before, that have been there, they got a system laid out, and can help relieve some of the stress from you, particularly if you're the planner in your group. Give me a P in the comments if you're a planner for your travel, whether that's your family, your friends, or your organizations, or sororities, whatever the case may be. If you're part of the planning committee, you know how stressful all of this can be, trying to herd these cats and get them all together to make sure that they're coming on the trip. But sometimes coming with groups like us allows even the planner to relax, right? So there's something to look forward to. Different types of visas. Again, I mentioned e-visa or visa upon arrival to destination. So, for instance, if you decide to come to Egypt with us, there's an e-visa or visa upon arrival. It typically takes 3 to 7 days if you do the e-visa, and the cost is $25. I've done a visa upon arrival, not in Egypt, but we were going into the Gambia. When we go into the Gambia, you can grab your visa upon arrival, but the cost is about 25 bucks. Ethiopia is an e-visa as well. The processing time is 1 to 3 days. I literally just did this maybe a week or two ago. It was a really easy process. Again, I believe it's just a money grab, right? Like as long as you're not, on the do not fly list or you're not sneaking into the country, right? It's just another way for a country to generate some revenue. So it's about $52 to get the e-visa for Ethiopia. And then Tanzania is another one of those countries. E-visa or visa upon arrival. Real easy to get in, real easy to move around. I just think it's a flawless procedure, unlike Ghana, right? So visa required destinations. Ghana requires you to mail in your application, and this includes your passport, your U.S. passport. You have to put in a self-addressed return envelope with a self-addressed return envelope and paid envelope, and you literally mail this off to the Ghanaian embassy. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, it's a stressful thing, right? So processing time is 5 to 10 days, but they got it, and then they got to mail it back. The cost ranges from $60 to $100 because you can expedite the procedure. I definitely recommend Expedition, and if you ever plan on going to Ghana again, after you decide to go there with us, then you're going to want to get the multiple trip visas. Yes, but most of them you don't have to mail in. But again, here we go. If you decide to come to Nigeria with us, which we're going for the first time in September of this year, I'll be on that trip if you're interested in traveling with me in particular. Um, it's going to be a beautiful experience. But again, we got to mail our visa in. I just our visa. We got to mail in our passport, right? Or we can go in person or at the Nigerian embassy. I think I might go. I'd rather go to the Nigerian embassy, right? So Ashley, like, remind me of that. Let's figure out where that is. Hopefully, it's one in Chicago. But I've been back and forth to DC a lot, so maybe we can just handle it there. So we check that out. About $160 is going to be the cost of that one. Visa-free destinations that we attend is Brazil, Morocco, Senegal, the Gambia, and South Africa, right? So if you travel with us to any of these as U.S. citizens with a valid passport, you have visa-free access. If you're traveling with us internationally from a different country, which we've had people travel from Canada and the UK, Europe, and the Caribbean islands, or even Saudi Arabia, right? So not Saudi Arabia, Dubai. If you are traveling internationally and you have a different visa, again, just make sure that you check if your country has visa-free access or what that particular process is. You can always ask us; we will assist. I have a dual citizenship. I have citizenship with Sierra Leone, and Sierra Leone allows me additional visa-free access to different countries. So depending on where I'm going, I'll use that particular visa just to speed up the process. Just to speed up the process and make it easier for me to travel. So it's just really a good addition to have, let's just say. All right, why travel with us? Again, curated itineraries for immersive experiences, and for the planners in the group, right? For you to obviously be able to relax, not have to worry about it, and allow other people to set the stage for you so that you can relax and enjoy the trip. But this is really for everybody. It's a stress-free travel planning with expert guidance. We've made the connections on the ground with the different guides and experts and historians that walk us around and take us through this particular journey. You're traveling with a community of like-minded people that understand the importance of the African diaspora, our history, our culture, and really building with one another during that process. Conversations and bonds are made for a lifetime during this experience. but exclusive experiences you won't find anywhere else, right? It's not a whole lot of Black travel groups that focuses on history and culture, right? This is when you travel with Sankofa Experiences, this isn't really about, laying on the beach and drinking Mai Tais and whatnot, and and going out partying, which all you can do all of that. You're an adult, right? And we go to some beautiful beaches, right? I've definitely been on the beach, sipping my glass of wine and enjoying the scenery and the sunset. I definitely went out and ventured into the nightlife as well, and we do that at different dinners and experiences. But you get a little bit of everything. But our focus really is history and culture and experience and connection, and that's really what makes us different as an organization. But we want to travel with you, right? Let's travel together, right? So join us on one of these amazing destinations. Again, we handle all of the logistics to set up the experiences and making sure and answer any of your questions to make sure that you're taken care of. But more importantly, making sure that you're safe, right? I know there's a lot of misconceptions about the continent of Africa and what it's like. Is it dangerous? Oh, this and that. And 9 times out of 10, you're more in danger here in the United States than you are there. And y'all already know what the new, I don't even want to say new, but with this new current administration, they are emboldening certain aspects of the American heritage, right? This is really who they are. They're exposing that underbelly, that nasty underbelly is being put directly back into our faces. But you don't want to experience any of that over there. No, Africans don't hate us. No, they're not holding a grudge for whatever reason. No, they don't think they're better than us, right? Does that mean that every single one of them don't? No, that's not, that wouldn't be the case, right? But how many Americans don't like Africans, right? African Americans don't like, so we're not 100% on either side, but I think that you will find that it's more warm and welcoming than you ever could imagine. And even though that the foods are different, I can tell you that they are delicious, right? I'm looking forward to going to Ethiopia and having these experiences in person and live. I got to say, my personal opinion, the best food on the continent right now is Senegal. If you're a foodie, I didn't know I was a foodie till I got to Senegal. Beautiful experience and delicious food. The Wolof people don't play, right? And that's one of the good things about traveling with us, right? We get to humanize the continent because we're always talking about Africa as if it's just one particular country. There's 54 countries on the continent, and there's hundreds of different cultures and languages and people. So we get to humanize them by getting a chance to understand their story, reconnecting with them, eating the foods, dancing, talking to them, learning some of the language and engaging. I like to say we get to humanize the continent for better reconnection. So if you're interested in traveling with us, again, you can book your spot today and explore Africa and the diaspora with all the beautiful places that we go. It just requires $199 down to secure your spot. And there is a no fee payment plan leading up to it. So depending on how far out into the future you're traveling with us, you'll be able to see your monthly commitment to make that payment, or you can just go ahead and knock it down with the one sum payment. This is always your choice, but it just takes $199 to secure your spot, depending on and just wherever you want to travel with us. So I'll open the floor for a few questions. Let me know if you have any. I guess you can raise your Zoom hand. And
Greetings, I'm Freddie Taylor.
To figure out how to get out of this and unshare my screen. I have no idea, y'all.
Greetings, I'm Freddie Taylor, CEO and founder of Urban.
This video really wants to play. How do I get out? Okay, maybe if I hit the X. That's still sharing my screen. There we go. Stop broadcast. All right. I think you probably can see me. I'm not back in the Zoom though. This is funny to me. Okay, there we go. I'm back. Now I can see y'all. Can I see the comments? All right, yeah. So if you have any questions, actually, I can't see if they're raising their Zoom hands. There we go. Okay. Maybe you don't have any questions. I don't know. Maybe I did a great job presenting and just knocked it out of the park. You can definitely tell me that in the comments as well. But I'm here for a few minutes if you have any questions for us. Okay, let me scroll up. I see. Is it true that Nigeria requires you to also send in your bank statements? Yes, there is a bank statement requirement in Nigeria. And Ashley, please correct me if I'm stating that wrong. But yeah, it's we'll walk you through that process. Diane, don't worry, it's not a big deal. It sounds scary. I definitely understand that. And the thought behind that with the countries is they're just trying to make sure that people have if you got stranded in a country for longer than anticipated, you're not going to become a burden on the country. And they just talk about having maybe a couple of $1,000s in showing, right? So you don't got to show all your bank accounts, but maybe you just show one with like $2,000 in it to make sure that you're good. I'm scrolling up just to make sure. I don't see any questions up here. Okay. Howard says, yes, interested in Egypt. I love that. Haven't been. I see no one interested. Tracy's been 4 times. No one interested. Yes, to Egypt. I want to go to Ghana. All right, Gene. No, I've never been. Ashley, do you need a visa if you have a passport? Okay, Ethel. Yes, you absolutely. Depending on the country that you go to, Ethel, depends on what country you go to if you need a visa, right? So I mentioned the few countries that we travel to that you don't need a visa at all, which were Egypt, Morocco, Senegal, South Africa, and I believe I'm missing one. But there was a slide. I can go back to it. Uh, do visas have an expiration date? Do you need a visa for each different country? Yes, they do have an expiration date, and yes, for each country they have a different requirement. So that is something, but again, it's just a one-time payment, and it depends on how long you want to have the visa, right? I mentioned you can purchase multiple entry visas, but most tourism visas last 90 days, right? But it's not like 90 days from the moment that you sign up, it's 90 days from the moment that you get there. Because when you're signing up for the visa, you're going to tell them exactly your travel dates. So I'm like, oh, okay, in Ethiopia, I'll be there from March 12th through the 22nd, right? So like they literally know, okay, he said he's going to be there 10 days, and that's the expectation for being there. Good questions there. Is it true? Okay, that was the bank statement. Brazil requires visa effective April 30th, 2025. All right. So that was the country I was missing was Brazil. But I wasn't aware that this is about to drop. So Ashley may have been aware. So let's make sure that we update our information or go take a look at that information. Thank you, Tracy, for that. Do you have a schedule of places you and your organization will be that your organization be traveled to? Yes, Judy. Okay, there we go. Ashley dropped it down in the comments, sankofaexperiences.com/travel calendar. So you see that link down there. But if you just go to our sankofaexperiences.com, you can click calendar and you'll see a list of all the places that we go throughout the year and 2026. Do you have a schedule? Okay, there we go. That's always a good question. Do you need a visa? Okay, I got that. Okay. Oh, you were giving me the questions. Thank you, Ashley. Visa expiration, got those, nailed that. Okay. All right. You have any other questions for me regarding the visa process or any of this information that we talked about today? Or are y'all just ready for me to stop talking so you can jump off and secure your spot? We do cap our trips right at 30. So if you're looking at a particular date, let's make sure that you go ahead and lock it in because when we get all filled up, you have to be searching for a new date. So there is something to consider there for you. So I want you to keep that in mind. But I can tell you that our trips are safe. They're fun. They're engaging. You're going to learn a lot. We've been doing this since 2022, and we have people going on their 3rd and 4th trip with us already, right? I know Adela is coming to her 3rd country where she brings her children, her teenage children, with her. And she's just having a beautiful experience. Each and every trip, right? So it's just something that I think everyone needs to experience at some point in their life. And we're trying to make it easier for you to do just that with people who are experienced on the continent and have good connections so you can have good information and what you need, right? So again, if you're vegan, if you're vegetarian, if you're pescatarian, if you have gluten issues, right? You're not eating any gluten. Like none of these things are an issue because as you sign up, we're asking you questions up front and we're learning those things and then making sure that we can curate the experience for you so that these options are available. But look, travel and tourism is huge in these countries. And then when I say huge, I mean very important to their GDP, right? This is like important industries for these countries. So they take this very seriously because not only do they want you to come and have a good time, they want you to come back and they want you to bring friends and family. They want you to spread the good word about their nation. So no country we go to play about your experiences. Not we don't play with it, and neither does the country because they understand that this is important for the country as a whole, but there are people on the ground as well. Because when our community comes, we come and we spend money, right? I mean, I know every time I go to a different African country, I'm buying the garb, right? I like African clothing. I like to support African businesses. I'm buying that. I am buying the spices. I am buying the art. I am buying the essential oils when we're in Egypt. um, yeah, I'm all in it, right? I love it. So they love all of that as well. Do you need a visa just to visit? Yes, that's called a tourism visa, Judy. And again, we'll walk you through all of those needs. But yeah, they call it a tourism visa. And like I said, I just try to tell you the truth. I just feel like it's a shakedown, right? I understand wanting to know who's in your country, where they are, and how long, because you got to keep your people protected. But why not make a little bit of money as well, right? So most of the visas aren't that expensive, anywhere from 25 to I saw the $160 on the high end, but that's probably expediting the process as well. Our trips are child friendly. I have two granddaughters, aged 13 and 10. Yeah, absolutely, Diane. They're at the perfect age, right, to be exposed to this information, old enough to digest the information and understand its importance, and old enough to walk on their own, right? So you wouldn't have to carry them and any of that. But yeah, so we definitely cater to the children, right? We're not babysitting. I got to make that clear for everyone. We don't provide child care, but yes, they're definitely children friendly as well. What about money? Do you have to exchange currency? Howard, great question. Yes, you definitely have to exchange your currency. The good news is, one, leading up to the trip, we'll have some cultural trainings, right? So let's say you decide to sign up for, I don't know, South Africa, right? Or whatever it is. South Africa, Egypt, Morocco, wherever you decide to go, we're going to have Zoom sessions set up where you are sitting down with the team and being educated on exactly what you need. We'll talk about the currency conversion. But more importantly, when you get there and it's time to actually do the conversions, we'll be there with you, right? Sometimes we bring the money exchange people into the room with us. Sometimes it is right there in the hotel. Sometimes we exchange right there in the airport. But we're not exchanging currency when you're just out and about and we're in the market, right? We don't want you to be one, pulling out large sums of money. Two, you just want to make sure that you're dealing in a professional environment. But three, we want to make sure that we're with you so that one, you feel comfortable, you understand the exchange rate process, and you understand what you're getting. Now, once you get the currency, if you're not used to traveling and you're not used to, calculating currency differences, it can be a bit confusing, particularly when you're out in the marketplace. So we'll have our guides there. Our team will be there near you. Just grab one if you're interested in negotiating, because everything is a barter system over there, right? The price that's quoted isn't the price that you have to pay. It's all what you negotiate, right? So they're typically starting on the high end, and I would want you to aggressively negotiate. But everyone's not comfortable with that. But it's part of the fun. It's part of the culture. It's a tradition all over the continent, not just the continent, actually. But when you're a little confused about the conversion rates, like, oh, so how much is that in my money, though, right? You can grab one of our guides and they can help you easily translate and understand what you're bartering for, what you're expecting to pay, And most of the time they'll help you be like, that's too much, right? So I love to ask the guides and deal with the people locally on the ground. So great questions there. See you next week. All right, Regina, looking forward to meeting you. Excellent, excellent. All right, safe travels to you, sister. Looking forward to hanging out with you. We got to make sure we get a picture, right? And we can talk about it here. What is it like returning through customs with purchases made? So Terry, depends on what you purchased. It can be different, but most of the time they expect you to come back with something, right? So it's not really a big deal. I know there in Egypt, one of the sisters were purchasing like some large artwork. So it was a bit of a process for her because she just purchased something so large and was trying to carry it through customs. She made it through, everything was fine, but they did want to unwrap her art piece and see it. So they had to all rewrap it back. So that was like a thing. But that was like the biggest headache. Now, if you're trying to go over there and purchase, say, some heirloom seeds, right? Any of my gardeners are my people that are aware of, the GMO activity here in the United States. And you're like, hey, I want to go get some heirloom seeds, which is, authentic strand seeds for your garden, right? And talking about, fruits and growing food, right? That's a different scenario. I don't know anyone that's done it, but I know when you're ticking off your custom papers, they ask you, are you bringing back any food, right? So I would imagine you tick that. There may be an additional layer, but I haven't experienced any malice or any difficulties traveling or coming back into the country. Now, the custom line can be long. It can be long. What I would recommend is, and this is even if you're not traveling with us, if you're traveling internationally, and let's say you don't have global entry, one, if you have global entry, you should probably get that. But two, there's something called MPC, Mobile Passport Control. I don't have global entry, which is ridiculous because I travel too much not to have global entry. I just ain't never took the time to go do the interview, right? But I do have MPC, Mobile Passport Control, and this is absolutely free. You just download the app, and like when you get off the plane, you take a picture, and literally, you picture your passport and all that. You upload, and then by the time you get to the gate, you can basically walk straight through. It's free too. It's not even a thing, and most people don't know about it. So that MPC line is usually pretty sparse. I usually just scroll through a lot of times before people with global entry because people know about that. They have it. So that's something really, really keen to look out for. And again, if you travel with us, and particularly if you're on the flight with me, I'm going to mention it, right? Because I think it's pretty dope that we can skip. What is it? Oh, okay, I got the customs question. Do you get a better rate for money before you leave or there in the country you are going to? It all depends, Vanessa. The exchange rate is a fluid thing. And I got to tell you, I don't know what to expect with this dude Trump in office. This is going to be my first international trip with Trump in office. So I don't know how how the exchange rates are going to fluctuate. I can tell you in certain places you get better rates. Most of the time they talk market rate. What's interesting is the bigger the bills you have, right? So if you come with American $100 bills, they'll give you a better exchange sometimes, right? I don't want to speak for every country, but some countries you will get a better exchange rate for $100 bills than you will with 20s than you will with 10s or 5s, right? Sometimes they only want bills that are newer, right? I've seen that, like, hey, 2013 or newer, they don't want the older bills. So it just kind of all depends on the country and the environment. I know that 2013 thing we were in Cuba last year in August, and they really didn't want to take U.S. currency that wasn't. I think it's either 2011 or 2013 or newer. So I found that to be pretty interesting. So good question there. I am in Dallas, Fort Worth. Is there a group leaving from here? Do we handle the flights? What's included in the travel accommodation meals? Okay, again, it just depends on where you're traveling. You're responsible for the international flight. We pick you up. What we do is picks up right when you land, right? But if you're in Dallas, you're either 9 times out of 10, you're going to fly into DC or New York. I believe Atlanta is adding more international flights. But you know what? Is that Dallas or Houston? Houston, I believe, is an international terminal as well. So I'm just not sure exactly what your route would be. but from Dallas, you would probably pop over to either Houston, Atlanta, DC, or New York in order to fly out. And then what's included is depending on where you go, right? So some of the places, everything is included. I won't say everything, but like your meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner are included, but not your drinks, which is interesting. But hey, Africa's a different place, y'all. So you just kind of gotta go with the flow, right? But I know, like in Egypt, your breakfast, lunch, and dinner is included, but not the drinks, right? So whether that's alcoholic drinks or you want some Coke, right, or Pepsi or whatever it is your drink of choice, or tea or whatnot, that won't be included. Most places, at least your breakfast is included, and you're just responsible for lunch and dinner. And like it just depends on who you are, but lunch and dinner usually is about eight to $15, just depending on where we go. We go to some really nice restaurants. We go to places where you have an option to have familiar food, let's say Americanized diet, but also options to dive into the local food. And I would tell you, dip your toe in slowly if you're kind of squeamish about different foods. But man, give it a try, because some of these, their spices, their seasoning, the foods will blow your mind, right? It is an absolute experience. So we handle the flight to the country, yes. Or do we meet up in the state of Americas? No, no worries. Thank you for asking for clarity. Yeah, you handle the flight to the country. And if you have any questions, Sister Ashley can assist you with that. But once you land, we'll pick you up from the airport. Like we'll require all of your flight information. What time are you leaving? What time are you landing? What time are you leaving from our destination, coming back to the United States, so that we can coordinate your shuttle to and from. So we know when, to have a sign out front that, so that you can know where to identify the people that's coming to pick you up from the airport. We usually ask that you land between, Ashley, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's like 12 to 4 is like the ideal time. If you're a little bit earlier, if you're a lot of bit earlier, it just kind of is what it is, or even later, right? We'll deal with it. But we just think that's the ideal window to try to get everyone to land around the same time, so that then no matter the airlines, right, we can all pick them up and shuttle them back to the airport. For instance, when I land in Ethiopia, it's going to be 7 a.m., right? It just kind of is what it is. I needed that direct flight. I wanted to, try to land in the window, but I'll be there early, right? So it just is what it is. Maybe I'll meander around the airport for a bit. So I might just have to wait a little bit longer, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be other people landing early, so they'll come and pick us up in clusters. That's what we're trying to do. Do you recommend a carrier and a time to fly? Again, it's really the landing time, right? You want to try to get there around noon. Let's just say that is the ideal thing to land, the ideal time. And then your carrier, right? Just who do you really fly with, right? I have like a lot of Delta miles, so I like to use my miles when I'm traveling. We got like our Amex, right? So I can convert miles over there and get great deals. But I think I'm flying through Air Canada this time, right? So they had like the best deal to get over there. And but they travel partner with Ethiopian Air, right? So I'm flying Ethiopian Air direct from DC into Addis Ababa. So that's going to be a good interesting thing. I've been flying more and more of the airlines. All of them are pretty comparable. I mean, if you like your first class and you like to go bougie, then you probably want to be in some of that top tier airlines or whatever that case is. But I've flown Egypt Air. It wasn't my favorite airlines, to be honest with you. That's probably like the roughest airline that I've been on, but it was safe. I mean, the food was good. It was nice. It was a little different, right? It was a little different, right? So I'll say that. So I don't think you could go wrong, right? I will be arriving in Ethiopia earlier too. Oh, excellent. All right, Denise. Yeah. So we'll probably meet up at the airport, right? But make sure that you grab the WhatsApp group. So for y'all traveling, we communicate while we're out through the WhatsApp group, right? So you should, I know if y'all going to Ethiopia, you should have already got the invitation. Hopefully you've already downloaded the app. But WhatsApp is great for international travel because it allows you to text and make phone calls with one another's without charging your your bill, as long as you're on the Wi-Fi. Hopefully you catch that last piece there. As long as you're on the Wi-Fi, but you can communicate with your friends and family back home. And we usually have decent Wi-Fi as long as we're not in Michigan. But at the hotels that we stay in, you typically got really decent Wi-Fi in the restaurants that we go to and the places. So that's an expectation of mine as well. But I have T-Mobile's international plan, right? So typically I don't have roaming fees. I can talk to folks, I can text, I can do all of the things through my normal phone. I can surf the internet, all of that stuff. But when we communicate as a group, we use WhatsApp, and there will be a WhatsApp group for every trip made. And that's how we'll push out itineraries for the next day, expectations on when to show up to be in this particular spot or that particular spot, all that good stuff, right? Yeah, okay. Any other questions for me? Well, y'all were going. All right, this was good. This was good. You let me get off a lot more of the information. But yeah, please, please, please don't leave without getting any additional questions that you have. And again, you can raise your Zoom hand if you want to ask them directly. Or if you need to articulate something that it might be too much to text, and I promise as they say in school, there are no dumb questions, right? Okay, correct. International flight to the country is not included. Yes, okay. Thank you, Ashley. Told y'all Ashley be on it. Are there messages on the WhatsApp now? Not yet, Denise. No, you should have just got it, and it's been silent. I promise. When you start to land or you get the flying, then you're going to see the information come pouring through. That first day is really about connection, right? So you're there, you're in a strange place, trying to get you settled, trying to get you comfortable, trying to give you some time to rest off that flight, right? That travel experience, and give you some time to decompress, get into your hotel rooms. We're going to handle all of that, get that sorted for you, give you your key, let you go relax for a bit. Then we're going to have a welcome dinner so you can meet the other travel people, meet the guides, answer all of the questions that you need. We may have either converted our money at the airport or the hotel, just giving you all the options, easing your mind about all the things that are ahead for us. I think all of that is really, really important. I'm definitely interested in South Africa and Egypt. What airline do you recommend? Again, I don't think you can go wrong with the airlines. I really think, Judy, it is about comfortability. Like, what airlines are you comfortable with, right? And then pricing, right? Some airlines are just flat out more expensive than others. I've flown United, I've flown Delta, I've flown Egypt Air, I've flown Ethiopian Air, I've flown Lufthansa. I don't know how to pronounce it, Lufthansa. I'm probably messing that up. I'm about to fly Qatar. I've flown Air Canada. I really don't think that you could go wrong. I think it's just really your sensibilities and your. I know people who only fly certain airlines. They like, hey, I like what I like. It is what it is. I know people that travel on the best deal, right? How can I get there on the best deal, right? Even though these are international organizations, there are international requirements for safety, because that's really what we're all concerned about, right? We're concerned about our safety. So I think that's important to remember, that all of them are basically comparable, right? If you like a newer plane, then you're going to want to go with one of the more expensive carriers. Like I said, the one that was, I don't want to like sink nobody's business, but I don't think I would fly not Ethiopian Air, Egypt Air. I don't know. I'm kind of rocky on that, right? I wasn't pretty thrilled about that. But you were asking about South Africa, so I don't think they fly down there. And I just say it and that could have been one experience. That was one experience. So maybe I need to fly again to see if it's similar. But that's just me, right? Like they say, Freddie's pretty bougie, y'all. So you got to keep that in mind as well. International flight travelers receive UI shirts. Yes. Tracy, you're going to get a Dear Mama. Oh, I don't have it on. I usually have it on these cards. You're going to get a Dear Mama Africa shirt before you go on the trip. So that'll be good. We talked about lanyards. to identify each other at the airport. Oh, that's an even better idea. Ashley, would you mark that idea down? I thought about using lanyards, but I didn't think about how easy that would make it for everybody to recognize somebody that's traveling to your destination. Because I've been on planes. Hey, if you're on a plane with me and you black, I'm probably gonna speak to you. I'm probably gonna say hello, especially if you're one of the elders. I'm probably gonna try to assist with your bag. That's just what it is, right? So we were just in Ghana in October, November last year, and there was these two sisters. We had spoke or whatever, and then they were trying to like get their bags up on. We were checking out of the hotel, out of the airport, and getting ready to go off into our guides, right? They were struggling getting their bags. So, you know, the sisters needed some assistance. So I went over there and I assisted. I'm lifting the bags and I'm pulling things on, and we go through, and they were like, "Oh, thank you so much." And then we're standing there outside, and then one of them came up to me and said, "Wait, you're Freddie, aren't you?" Right? And I'm like, "Yeah." And we were going on the same trip together, right? So we were going to be there together. But it would have been great to be in the airport with the lanyard on and be like, "Hey, I'm going to insert country as well." That would have been pretty cool. So thank you for that, Tracy. And that's an easy way to help people identify themselves. South African Air is great for South Africa. Thank you, Mary. Yeah. Again, this is why it's great to have the community, right? Because we got other people that have traveled and travelers and had those experiences. Are you familiar with spreading a loved one's remains on the continent of Africa? Yes, Kalanda. I was actually in Egypt with a sister that did that for her. Oh, was that her sister or her mom? She had the ashes, but that was a request of the loved one was to be spread on the continent, and she did it on the Nile River. So if you come to Egypt with us, there's a 3-day cruise down the Nile River. It was like a really special moment, right? We let her have her private time doing it, but we were near her in support. But it was really beautiful to watch, right? I've seen that. I've seen someone did it in Ghana. I saw that as well. I thought that was pretty cool, right? So just something different. But yeah, so apparently it's more common than I thought, right? Because I thought those were anomalies that I saw, but yeah, now you're asking about it. So sorry to hear about your loss. But I think that would be a beautiful tribute to reconnect with the continent as well. So that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. Yeah, got the lanyard question. That's good. All right, y'all got anything else for me? Y'all fired up today. All right, we normally don't get all of these questions. So this is good. Y'all a good group today. Appreciate you. Thank you for the info. Be blessed. Hey, Terry, thank you for being here. Appreciate you as well. Ashley, go ahead and drop some of the links, right? Drop the travel calendar link. There we go. Yeah, drop the travel calendar link so anybody that's interested on our dates. Again, it's just $199 to secure your spot on the trip that you're interested in, and then you'll make monthly payments leading up to the trip. But I want you to know it's not like a surprise, right? So when you go in there, you start to say, okay, I want to go to South Africa on this particular date. Hey, by the way, I think I may pop in on the South Africa November trip because I haven't been on that excursion just yet. So I'm super excited about that. And then I think my dad wants to go as well. So he's like, I want to get back to the continent, man. I'm like, okay. So anyway, when you select that trip, you're like, oh, I'm gonna put down my $199 per person, by the way. So if you bring somebody else, they just have to lock in the spot with that. You'll see the entire payment plan right there. So every month you'll see okay, it's gonna be this month, it's gonna be this every month. You will see it before you put in any information, it'll be right there in front of you, right? So we're not trying to play no games. We ain't trying to have no hidden fees, none of that. You will see your exact payments leading up to it. You can pay it off early if you want to. That's not a problem. You can add a roommate, right? So single occupancy obviously is more than double occupancy per person. But you can sign up as a single occupancy, and then you're like, week 2, 3 later, your friend, your cousin, your travel buddy decides, hey, they want to go. You can add them to your room as well, right? And then you'll go down to the double occupancy rate. I'm trying to think if there anything else that y'all not asking that maybe I could or should say. I think I'm pretty tight though. Ashley, what do you think, dude? Did I miss anything? Are we good to go? Well, I try to figure out how to do these slides. I got one last slide to share with y'all. Okay, I think I can do that one. All right. Let me check, make sure. Very informative. All right, thank you, Rebecca. I'm glad you got some value for this. Sorry about the presentation. Sorry about, I couldn't get my computer working correctly so I can give you all of the stuff. The dates for Nigeria, I believe it's September 1st through the 10th. Either that's Nigeria or Brazil. I know we're going to Brazil and Nigeria in September. Who is that? Kim, let's click the dates. Let's look at the calendar. How about that? All right, yeah, I can share. Okay, yeah. Let's do this. Good question, Kim. Why didn't I just think to bring it up? Y'all should have been like, Freddie, pull up the calendar and let me see. Share screen, start broadcast. All right, so y'all can probably just see me scrolling through. Here we go. All right, so I'm not sure exactly how this is showing, but so if you click that link, you will see our travel calendar, right? So it starts reverse chronological order. So you'll see the 2016 trips, 2026, boy, I'm 10 years back. 2026 trips listed first, and then we scroll down, you'll see the 2025 destinations. And I see Ivory Coast and Nigeria right here. So, I lied. September 29th through October 9th. Look, I'm going and don't even know the dates. I knew it was late October, right? I knew it was late September. One of them was. I had September 1st through the 10th, right? But that is Brazil. We're headed to Brazil on that date. Am I in the way? I'm in the way. And then, yeah. So September 29th through October 9th is the Ivory Coast and Nigeria, right? So that's going to be our inaugural trip there. That's going to be very interesting. You see, we are in South Africa right now. It's going to Ethiopia later this month, Morocco at the end of the month, Senegal in May, Tanzania in June, Brazil in September, Ivory Coast and Nigeria, September, October, Ethiopia again in October the 9th through the 18th. Egypt, October 25th through the 2nd. South Africa, November 3rd through the 12th. Ghana, November 14th through the 22nd. And the New Year's in Ghana, December 27th through January 4th. I'll be on that trip as well. I want to do New Year's on the continent. So 2026, here are our dates for now. We're going to Ghana in March, Egypt in March, South Africa in April, Ghana in July, Egypt in September, Ghana in September, October, South Africa in November, Ghana in November, and then again, a Ghana New Year special as well. So those are the dates. But again, if you just click that link, Sister Ashley drop down, then you can just click book now, and it'll take you to the booking page, and you can drop your $199 and be locked in for the trip. There we go. Should be back. Maybe. Oh, there we go. All right. Yes. All right. No problem. No problem. Kim, glad we could get that information to you. Again, that's the travel calendar information. If you have any questions we're like, oh, we got off the call, then you thought about something, you can always email support@sankofaexperiences.com, support@sankofaexperiences.com. That's going to go to our customer service at Urban Intellectuals, and it's going to be forwarded over to Sister Ashley, right? Again, because she is our contact person there for our travel portion. And we are ready to rock, right? Oh, what distinguishes your company from others that offer curated travel to Africa for those of us in the diaspora? Angela, good question. We offer our unique perspective, right? Urban Intellectuals is a Black history company. We've been doing this for 9 years. We've been operating in this space for 9 years now. December of 2015 be our 10th year in our 10-year anniversary. So I'm super excited about that. But we've been bringing Black history and culture to our community for a long, long time. So we have a dialed in group of people that are serious about our history and our culture. Again, we're not in the travel and partying and all of that stuff. This is a different level of maturity inside of our group. And we've been doing this for a while, right? I believe we're about to cross over 400 people. So we have the experience, we got the network on the ground, we got the safety and the track record to provide a quality experience for our people. We listen, we're flexible, and we're excited and passionate about this space. So I think our energy and enthusiasm comes across differently. I could be wrong, but I know a lot of people are coming back with us and they are enjoying it for real, for real. But great question, and Angeline. Hopefully I'm getting that right since I ain't got my glasses on, and this phone is too small for me. Is there any immunizations required? Again, it depends on the country. We always recommend talking to your doctor first because when you go to the CDC site, they're going to have a long laundry list of stuff that they recommend. There are a few things that are required, and that's typically where actually yellow fever is the only thing that's required. Yellow fever immunization within the last 10 years. So if you've already had that and you have record, then you should be good. You just have to bring your little yellow fever document, which I have. Ethiopia is one of the countries that you need the yellow fever vaccination. And Ghana and Nigeria, and I believe Tanzania are the others. The rest don't have that requirement, but they do recommend other types of things. I always say talk to your doctor. I don't want to try to. I can tell you what I do, right? I don't really take any of the additional stuff, but I did take the yellow fever. I don't want yellow fever, right? And then in West Africa, malaria is a concern, so they'll have like malaria pills. I've yet to take those, but again, I don't recommend what you do. What I do, I recommend you talk to your physician and make sure that y'all make the best decision. For instance, like I know a lot of people don't want to take the yellow fever vaccination, right? I get that too, but talk to your doctor about it. My father, when we went to Ghana for the first time, he didn't take it, but he was 87 years old, and his doctor felt like getting the immunization could cause more issues than it's worth. So we opted out, and we opted out to use a mosquito repellent, long sleeves, long pants, always trying to stay covered up and staying safe away from the mosquitoes. We got out of there without incident. But if you're like, oh, I don't really want to take any vaccinations, you still have a multitude of countries that you could go to that don't require any, right? So I know, like off the top of my head, like Senegal, Morocco, Egypt, and South Africa are, vaccination free, right? So you can just walk basically right into those countries. Doctors are in it for the money. Yeah. I mean, hey, Kalanda, let me just be honest. I'm in it for staying out of the liability as well. So I don't want to. I'm not an expert in this area, so I don't want to try to pretend to play one on the internet. So I just want to let people make informed decisions like they need. That's why I say I'll tell you what I did, but I'm not. I will tell you openly and honestly, I'm not recommending that for you. I'm just telling you my experience and what I opted to do. So we always say, make sure you talk to your doctors first, right? Doctors are out for money. They really are. Will you let us know what countries do need immunizations? Yeah. Actually, this is actually a good post that we could put up, but I am fairly certain it is Ghana, Nigeria, Tanzania, and Ethiopia for yellow fever. And yellow fever is the only one that is like you can't come into the country unless you have it, or you got a medical exemption. There's no religious exemptions. There's no feelings like not that I know of. I could be wrong, people. I could be wrong about that. But the people that have the exemptions typically are for medical reasons, and they get it. And then they don't have a problem entering the country. But I don't know if people saying I just don't want to take it, being able to be let in the country. That could be wrong too, right? But we haven't come across that experience. But yeah, so I think if you're really anti-immunizations, there's still a number of countries that you can travel to and have a beautiful experience without it, right? And it's slowly this yellow fever thing. It seems to be starting to go away because they required it every 10 years. But now I'm hearing that that requirement is just going to be once in a lifetime, right? So you're not going to need it after every 10 years, which is exciting to me because I got my yellow fever shot in 2017. And I frankly don't want to go get another one, but I also don't want yellow fever. And I'm going to keep going to the continent. So I'll be in a quandary. I'll probably end up taking it again if they require it and force me. I think I'd rather take it and go rather than not have the experience. We're crossing into the Gambia from Senegal. Yellow fever isn't needed. My doctor argued with me. It isn't needed. No, it's not. Yeah, we were just there, right? Was that last year? What's 25? Yeah, last year in Senegal in the Gambia, right? I got the pictures walking with the lions and all that good stuff. Can you purchase bottled water in these countries? Yeah, oh, absolutely. Good bottled water. Yeah, yeah. In fact, right, Rebecca, great question. Yeah, we're gonna give you bottled water, right? So while we're out and you're traveling with us on the buses, like there's gonna be bottled water provided for you. Um, I don't recommend the ice, right? No matter what you're drinking, I don't recommend you put the ice in it unless we're in like an international hotel and we let you know. Like anytime the water is okay to drink, we'll let you know. But when in doubt, drink the bottled water, but that'll always be provided. And I just avoid ice because if it's not properly filtered, it's the same thing as drinking the water. So I just always avoid ice. I just avoid the ice. I just eliminate the concern and not even deal with it. Um, yeah, so but I'm used to drinking room temperature water. That's a thing that we do at home all the time anyway, right? Drinking room temperature water, so it's not a big deal for me. But bottled water will be everywhere, right? It is definitely available and a large supply. But again, while we're out, it's typically hot as that thing, as they say in the mother country. So we understand that hydration is important. So all of that, those waters will be provided. So that's a good question, Rebecca. I didn't even think about ever mention. I don't think we've ever mentioned that, right? So that's good. That's good. Um, and I'm trying to think. Is there any other questions that you might have for me? You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. Um, most of the countries, I'm trying to think, where did they tell us to drink? I feel like I was somewhere and the recommendation was to use bottled water to brush your teeth. Typically, it's okay to use the water to brush your teeth. Just don't just swallow it and it's really larger portions. Um, but I was somewhere. I can't remember where I was. I don't believe it was one of these trips though. I feel like I was somewhere else. But anyway, this is why traveling with a group of experienced people is important because then they'll let you know. We'll let you know, right? Like if you're at the country and it's like, hey, don't drink the water. Always use bottled water, even to brush your teeth. Like this will be in the directions and it'll be reiterated over and over and over again. But like I always say, when in doubt, just go with the bottled water. If you can't remember, like, are we good? Just go with the bottled water, right? Like you just go with the bottled water, right? It's not like yellow fever, right? It's not like death symptoms, but nobody wants to ruin their vacation with a upset stomach, right? So I think that's good. Great information as always. Hey, thank you, Mary. I appreciate you being here and thank you for the kind words. Okay, if y'all got more questions, I'll hang around. Um, yeah, but I've been traveling all day and I was up all night, right? I am ready to eat and go lay it down and get ready for the work day. Hopefully, I'm probably gonna have to work out of the house if I can't get this internet working. But I love engaging and having these conversations with y'all and making sure that you got any of the questions that you need answered to make a decision, right? It's not a small investment, but it is an investment in your future. It's an investment in your empowerment. It's in your investment in ticking off one of those things that you've always wanted to see, right? I don't allow fear. Don't allow other people's words to hold you back from having this experience. Don't allow that long flight, right? I hear people say, "Oh, that flight's too long." It's really not that bad. It really isn't. I know I've had more international trips than an average bear, but you get used to it. But No, say 17 hours, right? This flight is 17 hours, right? That sounds like a long way, but an arduous trip. But you have to remember what's on the other side. What's on the other side of that flight is an experience of a lifetime and something that you've always wanted to have in your life. And frankly, there's just one way to get there, right? I guess you could go on a cruise ship, you could cruise over and get on the continent, but most people aren't going to do that. Most people don't have that type of time. So if this is something that you've really been thinking about, we always say tomorrow's not promised, right? And the conversation that we've been having around here in Sunday Dinner and Urban Intellectuals in general is the only promise that I can make to you about life is you're not going to get out of it alive. And the thing about it is we don't know our expiration date. So it would behoove us to take advantage of these opportunities when they're in front of us. Tomorrow's not promised. We don't know if it's going to be another global lockdown, right, where you can't travel or something like that happens, right? We just have no idea. So I think now is of the essence. Um, thank you for that. Safe travels. Oh, we got some questions. What's the safest way to carry money? American Express, cash, and I guess credit cards are not accepted everywhere. Great question. Boy, where are y'all every week? I need all of these questions every week. Um, so the safest way is to have a combination. I will tell you that American Express isn't widely accepted in Africa. All right. I'm an Amex guy. I want to swipe my Amex every time. But when we're at the larger international hotels, we're at the Marriott, the Kempinski, or something like that, you're going to be able to swipe your Amex, right? But mainly it's Visa and MasterCard that are accepted. Now, here's my caveats. You're only going to pull out that credit card. Oh, do not use your debit card. Let me repeat this. Do not use your debit card. And the reason I say that is because if unfortunately something happens and there's a loss of the credit card, a loss of the card, or somebody a bogus charge or something, to get your money back on your debit card is infinitely more difficult than to get it back on your credit card. You contact your credit card company, say this is a bogus charge, they just gonna reverse it. You try to contact your bank and get your money back, it's gonna be months, right? So I always try to bring that up as a point of emphasis. Um, but only use your credit card at the hotels we stay in and the restaurants we go to, right? And when in doubt, ask. But when we're in the market, when you're on the street, do not pull out your credit. I don't care how reputable you think the person is. If we're not telling you it's okay to use in this location, don't do it, right? I think that's important. But I think it's also important to remember that, again, Visa and MasterCard is really the predominant use on the continent. And then cash, right? And then cash. But I have gone to ATMs and used either my credit card to pull out cash or even use my debit card to pull out cash at the hotel that we're staying in, right? So I think that's always important. So great question, Judy. Just follow up if I'm missing anything. But then definitely going to have some cash with me to do some shopping. Greatly appreciate your work. Safe travels. Thank you, Miss Johnson. Good night. Appreciate you. Great words of power. Love it. Positive vibes. Safe travels. Thank you, Brenda. I have global entry and TSA pre-check with years still left. I received a random email tonight from U.S. Customs Border Control saying that there has been a recent change to the status of your application. I travel in and out of the country often and do not know why. There's suddenly U.S. Customs contacting me randomly regarding my credentials. This just happened with the current federal climate. I am suspicious. Wonder if you heard of this or anyone else has a random act. I do not know nothing about that, Angeline. My comment would be contact the U.S. Customs Office directly. Don't click no links that were sent in the emails. Don't go through any of that. Go straight to the government website and contact them directly, right? I don't know if it's a scam. They, find out, right? The folks are clever, but the travel environment is changing. This is why we say like tomorrow's not promised. We don't really know what this administration is going to do, so we have to try to take advantage of this now. But I would contact them directly and make sure that you're dealing with somebody that is serious. Consider Cash App or PayPal credit card. PayPal card should work as long as it's got the Visa or MasterCard. I'm not familiar with Cash App. I haven't never used Cash App on the continent. I believe they have Cash App over there. I don't know. I've just never used it. As Kevin said, cash is always king. Always, always, always. I really appreciate you answering all my questions. No problem, Judy. Thank you for asking them. I just reviewed my global entry and no interview was even required. No kidding. All right, Mary, I might finally get it then, right? I'm gonna be at the airport, so maybe I'll do it while I'm at the airport. Thank you for answering all my questions. Blessings. Good night to everybody. Good night, Rebecca. Appreciate that. Great idea. It links to the government site. But yeah, I don't know. They'd be making stuff look like the link, but it'd be like what they call it, like some masking or something. Then they mess around, take you somewhere else. So I would say just do your own search on the side and go directly to the custom site and get that phone number off of there and call them directly. Yeah, I think that's the best way to go. Cash App card is a Visa. Oh, really? Oh, I didn't even know they did that. Yeah, I think that's a great idea then. As long as you got some money on it and all that good stuff, I think you should be fine, S. Johnson. That's a great alternative as well. Yeah, man, you know what? Well, I got enough cash, so I'll be all right. But I know like the Amex is gonna work in like our host hotels and all of that good stuff. So I'll be trying to get my points, y'all. I want all the points I can get. So if I don't want to spend, I don't want to use my Visa or MasterCard. I want to get these points, right? The first time you would need an interview. Okay. All right, but I know there's like if you're at the airport, you can do the interview at the airport or something like that. I don't know, but I'm telling y'all, mobile passport control is like really, really dope. I've used it every time coming back in, and I learned about it from a group travel mate while we were in Sierra Leone. Right, he mentioned it. He was like, "Oh no, just download this app," and it was like super easy. I said, "Oh man," and that was like 2023, so it's been 2 years of international travel. And I still ain't got global entry. I don't really sweat it either. So, okay. All right. I think we got to the end. All right. Thanks for the laughs and making my night. All right. Ethel, I'm glad you can appreciate my sense of humor, right? Hope you stick around, right? I got more jokes for y'all. I promise. Not tonight. I'm going to bed tonight. But I appreciate y'all being here. Hey, a blessing to you and Dad 95. I love it. Have a great night. Safe trip. I appreciate y'all. The interview takes place after you return. Oh, after you return. Okay, thank you for that. There are Cash App-like services that in our yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely they have their services. It's available. I just never used it, so I don't recommend it, right? I don't know, right? I don't want y'all to get caught up in something and be like, Brother Freddie told me. Like, no. Brother Freddie told you what he knows, right? So I always try to stay lean like that. But maybe I'll be exposed to something and I eventually get there. I know there is technology on the continent. I know it's hard to believe the way these folks be talking about the continent and whatnot, but it's always been a good experience for me. All right, I think we are good on the questions. Sister Ashley, let me know in the comments. Are we good? I think we are. Yes. All right. I'll give y'all 5 seconds for any final questions for me. 5 long seconds, and then 4 more seconds, and then 2 more seconds, and then 1 more second. All right. So I think we got everything. It's been a good night. All right. Hopefully we answered all of your questions and concerns. But again, go to send an email to support@sankofaexperiences.com if you have any additional questions for us that you think about a little bit later. I don't know how to do this. Present on this advice. There we go. All right. At least we know that we got an option if I'm traveling and I can't get to this. But I appreciate y'all. This is just our outro video. I appreciate y'all. Have a good night, everybody.
Greetings. I'm Freddie Taylor, CEO and founder of Urban Intellectuals, and we are behind the Sankofa Experiences. This is where Black History Travel Made Easy is not just our mantra, it's a promise. Our mission? To reconnect you with your roots, your culture, and the history of the African diaspora. Now spanning across 10 African nations and the vibrant cultures of Colombia and Brazil, the Sankofa Experiences is expanding. We've crafted curated group travel experiences that do more than just visit. They immerse, they educate, they transform. From the historic forts of Ghana to the bustling markets of Nigeria, the serene beaches of the Gambia to the rugged mountains of Morocco, and beyond even South Africa and South America, each destination holds a special place and part of our story. Embarking on these Sankofa journeys means more than just exploring more landscapes. It means walking in the footsteps of the ancestors, embracing the diversity of our heritage, and seeing the world through a lens of understanding and appreciation. It's a group experience where every traveler is a thread in the fabric of the shared narrative, making the journey safe, engaging, and unforgettable. So are you ready to embark on this adventure? To explore, to learn, to celebrate the legacy that connects us all. Join us in the Sankofa Experiences, proudly powered by Urban Intellectuals. The only thing missing is you. Greetings, I'm Freddie Taylor, CEO and founder.
Knowing I couldn't get out of there with no smooth exit, I tried, y'all. But I appreciate y'all joining us tonight. It's been a good conversation. Y'all were active in those comments, but I appreciate all of you being here and sharing your evening with us. Again, if you have any final questions, you can shoot them to support@urbanintellectuals.com, support@sankofaexperiences.com. I'm trying to stay consistent so y'all don't get too confused, but support@sankofaexperiences.com. All right, good brother Kevin, appreciate you for being here. Glad you enjoyed the info. Till next time, good people. Hey, Sister Ashley, thank you for always being on the spot, prepared, and ready for all of my final moment shenanigans. So I definitely appreciate you, sister. You always do a great job. But yeah, so y'all are definitely welcome to travel with us. Click the links, come on and join us. If you have any questions, support@sankofaexperiences.com. Until next time, love, peace, and power to the people. Good night, everybody.